America is known as the land of opportunity. The data from our Ministry of External Affairs reveals that the USA is the first preferred choice of many Indian students who want to opt for study abroad. And along with a strong economy and a great exposure, there are many more reasons that Indian students opt for studying in the USA. I am Tanay Kumar, and today at the Education Post News, we have Dr. Chitpasong Vazquez, who happens to be the president and the chief administrative officer of the California Miramar University, which is in San Diego of the famous American state, California. An educationist who spent a good amount in volunteering into community services still in America. Dr. Vazquez will also explain about the AI First University, a section of California Miramar University, which will be enabled by the power of artificial intelligence. Well, I'm really excited to know about this AI First University. So let's hear it from herself.
Okay, perfect. Okay, sounds great.
Yes. So first, thanks a lot for taking out time to share your thoughts with Education Post News. And
Yes, absolutely.
yes,
Glad to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. So I'll begin with my first question. That to begin with your early life, because it's always how childhood and adolescence they make a person. So how has been your early education and high school been? I mean, in USA, it is called high school, if I'm not wrong. In India,
Yes.
parents play a very critical role in someone's academic journey, very critical, from selecting a particular elementary school to even an undergraduate program as well. So was it similar with you as well?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. And I do see, in high school, I think I really enjoyed it myself going into, the earlier age of enjoying the growing up, as I always call it, in high school, where, you're learning your ways, or you're learning your pathways and really discovering what you want to do in life. And I think it's very critical for parents to play a role in deciding, kind of helping you, guide you, and mentoring you into where you need to be. So I think it's extremely important. And, I don't blame the parents for trying to see, where the kids are going to go. And more importantly, just leading the pathway. And, for myself, I can say with my parents, they gave us the liberty to choose what we wanted to do. I was always into business, and I always wanted to go into teaching. And so, I'm doing the best of both worlds. I, have a business, and I love running my business, but I also love the education side, and especially more in the academic administration side, where I get to help out students and give students the opportunity to grow and to really, I feel like I'm a parent also, working with high school students or students coming into college to help them navigate where they want to be or where they want to go in life. And at the end of the day, I always say it's not just about the education, but also it's about the job placement, about the livelihood of building out our students. So again, that parenting never stops, even from the high school age or even going to college. It's always somebody there to mentor you and guide you to where you need to be. So definitely, I would say in my childhood myself, I also had my parents guiding me. So I've used those same principles to help out my students to guide them to the right pathway as well. Definitely.
Very well. And were they also in academics or different professions?
So my parents were actually in business, so they weren't academics. They were business runners and entrepreneurs. Yes.
Okay. So in which may I know which sector? I mean, which
They were
domain?
in catering, and they were in more of the restaurant business is what they did.
Wow, that's a very good
Yes.
one. And yes,
Yes.
of course, all of us like
Absolutely.
cuisines and dishes.
Everybody eats.
Yes.
And I'm from Thai, so I have a Thai background, so we cooked a lot of Thai food, and my parents had a few Thai restaurants. So it's great.
Wow. In fact, just the day before yesterday, I and my wife were discussing Thai curry. And
Yes.
just
It's very similar.
Yes,
Yes.
it's a very delicious one. Anyway, very good one. So
Yes.
when I was going through your profile, you have very good experience of volunteering, and you are still giving your service at 6 places. I mean, it's a really noble and very commendable one. How is volunteering in the USA, as we see many Americans, either students, professors, even executives, they do it. So how is volunteering in the USA? How is the scenario? First of all, I want to let my viewers to know that volunteering is a very kind of very prevalent and a very easily acceptable. And how has this experience been shaping your viewpoints, your thoughts? If you could share some instances.
Yes, absolutely. So I know volunteering has always been in my blood. I really love to give back to the community. And I think as educators, we kind of just tend to get into volunteering. Even when my kids were at an earlier age, I would volunteer on their little league and work my way into volunteering at their school district to kind of help out. And I just think I love giving back to the community. Even now I try to get myself involved, and I volunteer for our accreditors as well. So, I sit on our standards committee board to help them review and, write the standards and for our accreditation. So I enjoy doing the volunteer work. I just think wherever I can give back to the community, I think it comes back in return. So one day if I do need some assistance in the future, I can call a lifeline or I can call for help. And I have, some guidance and some mentoring that can come back and help me as well. But really, at the end of the day, it's really helping, lifting others and helping others. And I think a lot of it has to do with us volunteering, as well. And a lot of these, positions that we go into for education, sometimes it's not one where, you get paid to do it, but it just feels rewarding to be out there to help and volunteer. And as you mentioned, there's so many different parts of volunteering, whether it be the service part or whether it be giving your time and your resources. I think you just prioritize and you do what you can. But again, at the end of the day, you do it for the right reasons, right? You're out there and you're volunteering and because you want to, or because you want to help somebody to kind of get to that next level. So I enjoy it. My only problem is I don't have enough time in the day to do more volunteering, but I jump in wherever I can.
That's what Absolutely. We all are like. We are travailing to get time out of 24 hours.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And now with my team out in India and in Dubai, I hardly even get any sleep because I'm always working with the team in the evening. But I enjoy it. I love it. I really enjoy having all areas of the world to work with. So definitely.
And on that note, as you are in San Diego's time in Pacific time zone, it's 8 p.m. And that's why I'm really thankful to you that taking out time at this hour.
No problem. Not at all.
Yes. So any instances, if you remember from your volunteering, that it was a very, very changing moment, or not very changing, but it was a very lessonful for life.
Absolutely. Yes. So I'm actually also part of the Lions Club here in Southern California in San Diego. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Lions Club. I think they have it out in India as well. But they are a humanitarian, organization. And so we give back to the community. Again, whether it be, doing a fundraiser to help out with folks with diabetes, or whether it be we go around and collect old glasses, from different organizations, and they bring it back to an optometrist, they fix it, and they give out glasses to, folks that are in challenge or need glasses. And so they give out free glasses. So it's just, different ways of doing humanitarian work and to help out. Just anything we can do to really help out the community. So again, I think that's very rewarding for me is, even the time I can be a part of something like that, it feels great.
Yes, so. Absolutely. Yes, it does. So yes. Coming to my next question, you were mentioning that your team you have an Indian team working here in India in the different time zones. So a week ago, in collaboration with an Indian college, you announced AI first universities. I was really curious about it. It intrigued me a lot because all of us gaga and we all are going painting around the town about AI, that how even just our prime minister is right now in the USA. So he also put the economy as America and India, AI as a So AI first university, please, we want to know about it. And would this university have AI as its faculties? I want to know about it.
Yes.
As its faculties or study materials prepared by AI or any other aspect which you want to say.
Yes. So great question. So when we say AI first university, it really is just that. So everything that we do, everything we touch, all the way from our business processes to drafting emails, to working with our faculty, to working with students, we use AI. And, a lot of times when you hear the word AI, the first thing you think about is robotics, or you think of, or at least, for me and even some of the folks and colleagues I know, when you hear the word AI, everybody gravitates to robots or gravitates to, it's artificial, right? So that's what you think about. But really, when we talk about AI, it's really leveraging the tools that are out there. And when we talk about tools, it might be, Microsoft Copilot, or it might be ChatGPT, which is very popular.
Yes.
So these are the tools that we're using internally and externally. And when I say internally, all of my faculty would use that in terms of, coming up with topics for discussion. Or if we're looking for building a business process internally, we use that to look up business processes. So really leveraging AI to be more efficient in the way we work and to be a little bit more seamless. And so that's when we say AI first, that's what we're referring to. We also have programs at the university that are AI driven. So we have a master's degree, an MBA with a concentration in AI. So this means that you don't have to be a programmer, you don't have to be a coder. You can be an MBA student, but then still learn and leverage how to use AI in your everyday business needs. We also have what's called like the Masters of Science and Artificial Intelligence. So the MSAI program is a little bit more diving deep into programming. This is the coding. So there's two different pathways. And so when we talk about AI, there's different variations of AI for the institution. But as an AI first university, it's just that we are using AI to drive the way we run our business.
Yeah,
Okay.
very, very relevant point. And yes, of course, they are very worthy to use. And yes, when I was going through the website of your university, so of course, along with many universities in India, institutions in India, you are getting collaborated and you're having tie-ups with them. So here in India, visa and all of its processing is one very crucial but very intricate issue for any
Yes.
international student. And some
Correct.
Indian students even get swindled. They get duped in some of the clauses, like this is the one thing that you have to do. So does California Miramar University help its prospective students, they are about to go there, in terms of visa processing and post-study work visa rules?
Yes, absolutely. So we take that very serious in terms of, the visa process. Majority of the times, we work with several different agents in and around the world, and especially in India. One of the things that, we try to work with our agents on is to get them prepped for the embassy and helping out students on what to expect, and really just educating the students on being confident in their interview process. And a lot of times it just takes practice. You really need to know why you're coming to the university. What
Yes.
program are you going into? Why are you here to study? I mean, these are real relevant questions that, anybody will ask you. And again, we want students that want to come to us that know why they're coming to us and the reason why they're coming. And at CMU, we do promote work and study as well with the institution. And so that's one thing that we tell our students is that, you're out here for education, but you also have the opportunity to learn the skill sets through CPT and OPT. So I think, being educated on going to talk to the embassy when you're going through your visa process and understanding what are the right questions to ask, or just even proper etiquette in terms of being confident. It's huge in terms of going into these interviews. But we also provide all of our agents and with our students best practices in terms of what to expect, what to review, knowing, what are the right answers. But again, faithfully and ethically questions that students should know how to respond to as if they are coming to be a student with CMU, for sure.
Yeah, so very well. And thank you on that note, because many times it is left to the student and their part that, yes, they have to process. I mean, usually, not I'm talking in the context of CMU, but CMU is helping and it's a very good one. So
Absolutely.
in the academic programs of CMU, I found a very curious, I mean, this program found my curiosity. STEM designated Master of Business in Data Analytics. So I want to know about it. Please tell its meaning in the context of STEM designated, because it's all about STEM courses, and the students who graduate from STEM, they always somehow they get the gist of all this science and technology. So yes,
Yes,
please.
absolutely. And just like you said, really, when you talk about STEM, it's really the science and technology that goes behind the program. And in our data analytics program is one of them. And, the great thing about being in a STEM designated program is that students that do come out here and study with our OPT program, which is the optional practical training after they're finished, they can stay up to 3 years after they graduate to work here in the US or do an internship. So again, because it is a technology and, and it is a STEM program, students do have the leverage to be able to use that. And again, as you had mentioned, so again, data analytics does drive into, even though it's a business program, it drives into analytical data, and it allows students to really use the context of STEM in their learning. So again, to your meaning of, the technology and the science behind this program, that's what students are getting out of this program. So for sure.
That my question is next to me, but first I'm envying to graduate from going to another, going again to school for STEM, or graduating from STEM, because that's the kind of a AI and data analytics they are taking all over the world. So I wish that. So can students from non-STEM streams like social science, liberal arts, or even law, commerce, can they avail this program? If yes, then how? And even if no, then I want to know the reason.
Yes, absolutely. So that's one great things and benefits about CMU is that we don't have matching majors. As usually typically if you're a tech student, sometimes they want to see you continue as a tech student, but at CMU, we actually, as long as you meet our admissions criteria, we don't have criteria where you have to stay in the same field. So say, for example, if you're a business student and you want to transfer over to a tech program, you can. However, there are prerequisite courses that get you prepared for you to get into a tech program. So same thing with business. If you're a tech person and you want to transition to business, there are prerequisite courses that you have to take before you go into the business program, just to get you prepared and get you prepped to get into each of these programs. So that's, the caveat in terms of if you want to switch majors, you can, but there are additional courses you would have to take to get into these programs.
Yeah, if someone wants to switch, then he or she should have the basic knowledge of the subject they want to opt for.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So coming to my next question, what are the 3 biggest reasons for CMU's focus on collaboration with Indian colleges? That's very, I want to know.
Yes, great question. And you know what, I can tell you right now, one of the reasons is India is probably the fast growing market, in the world. I think China and India are probably the top 2. I think they fight for who's on first place, right? And so, we see that as an opportunity for the institution, but also an opportunity for students as well to be able to come to the U.S. and confer a degree with the U.S. So I think that's, it's a great win-win for both, for the students and also for the institution. 2, I think, we see Indian students, and not just to say Indian students, but students around the world. I think their focus in studies and their focus in, especially in the business and tech programs, is very high. We probably have at CMU, one of our biggest markets is the Indian market, and it's probably one of our fastest growing. And so, we're excited to share that news as well. And students do very well, when they come out to our institution and they go through the program. Usually a lot of times what they'll do is they'll come out here, they'll meet with other Indian students, they all get together and they enjoy the activities together. And sometimes you'll see they even do accommodations together. So it becomes a really great collaboration with our students. And I think really, it's just the opportunity. We want to provide an opportunity for Indian students to come out here to the U.S. And, it's available, and again, I think, and for me personally, I think, students are very intelligent, that come from India. They have the smarts, as I say, and they're very dedicated and committed to their studies. And, as an educator, we appreciate that because we love to teach and we love to educate. And when we have students, from India that are very focused, that are very into the school, it makes it much easier for us to teach the programs. And so, that's another great reason why we like students from India as well.
I'm elated to hear that, first of all, from your side. And even our data from our Foreign Affairs Ministry, Ministry of External Affairs, officially it is called. So it has a data that, yes, US is the most preferred choice for every Indian student. So yes, of course, that's a very win-win situation for both of the parties. So can you please share some modus operandi regarding delivering quality education over online program and distance program? Because getting educated at the campus is really different than the online one, just like we're interacting here.
Yes, absolutely. So, and there are, so we do have, both models. We do have the online version as well as we have, so 100% online versus, we have a hybrid component, which our international students are required to be on campus. And, to your point, I think there is a difference face-to-face versus doing the whole online presence, right? I think everybody can agree with that. And, you get the same, so even if it's online or on ground, you kind of get the same interaction in terms of the materials. However, when a student is on ground, sometimes you get more of the hands-on experience. You have instructors in class and they're doing discussions or they're doing a project. I think the hands-on experience in class makes it a little bit different in terms of the education and the learning. However, we are required as an institution, our faculty, they do record all their lectures. They provide that recording to the students so they can go back and review it after classes. So I think, in terms of our delivering quality education, I think our platforms that we use for our learning management system, as well as all the materials and equipment that we have for students, it gives great quality of education to our students because of the platforms and tools that we use for teaching. So definitely, we have what it takes to be able to teach online versus what we have on ground as well. So we do both at this point.
Oh, very thorough one. And that's that CMU has done that work. And thanks a lot for taking out time at this hour, Ms. Vazquez, because we know that and sharing all these insights on the how visa process and how CMU is offering all the programs for the Indian students. And on third note, I would thank you for choosing India as your preferred choice for collaborations and all the, you can say, joint ventures.
Yes, no problem. And, I look forward to, I believe I'm coming back out in March again of next year to do another round of my visits. I've made a lot of great friends out in India and I made a lot of good colleagues and even mentors out in India. So I'm excited to be back. And I've even met some of the, students while I was out there, and I'm excited to see that they're on the other side now here in the US and studying. And, I remember meeting them in the, the offices out there in India. And now they're over here in my office. So it's great to see a great connection, and students are excited. When they come at the end of the day, it's really about the environment of the institution. It's really about feeling belonging to the institution. And, the institution that we have at CMU, we're very warm welcoming to our students. And really, for me, it's really about the relationships and students feeling comfortable. And so I think that's why, we have a lot of great success with our students coming to CMU.
We welcome you back with all warm hearts and with all warmness.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you once again.
All right. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye now.